Hello, welcome to the first video of my channel. Um, I've created this channel, which I named the Juniper Veil, mainly to make myself practice tarot. So I figured if I record myself, not only will it be helpful for me to look back on the cards, but it's just kind of a fun way to make sure that I practice. Um, so a little bit about me. Uh, my grandmother used to read tarot cards, not a lot, but she would sometimes. So that was kind of my introduction to tarot. Um, about 20 years ago, I had a book about how to read playing cards for tarot, and I would do that for fun sometimes. Um, but that was a while. I hadn't really been into it since then. I mean, I always liked it, but I never really tried it out. And then this year, I started watching a lot of YouTube's videos where people were doing tarot readings or they were doing psychic readings. So the first person that came up was Linda G, the Comanche psychic. I don't know how she came up on my feed, but she did. And I started watching her videos and I just enjoyed them immensely, especially in today's political climate. It was really nice to just hear her enthusiasm for reading tarot and reading in general. And she's funny. So she definitely makes you feel good. And then through Linda, I started watching a lot of other channels. Not everybody does tarot, but mostly them they do tarot. So for example, Mel, Arthur, Use Your Mind, right? So Meldor, um, Sherry, Voices from the Swamp, Danny Shea, Sterling, um, so many that I'll probably list in my little information on this video. Um, but yeah, I just enjoy watching their videos so much. And I enjoy the art of tarot cards. It's very interesting. So I figured, all right, let's have a hobby and then let's record this hobby just to see how it goes. Maybe if you're into starting into tarot as well, um, and you'd like to see somebody struggle along the way, you won't feel alone. Currently, I am taking a class for by Trevor, Scrying Out Loud. So taking his class is helping me a lot with how I view the cards. I still, especially now as I start to practice, I'm still going to need to reuse a book because I don't know a lot of the minor arcana. I feel like I have a better handling of the major arcana. Um, but I'm still going to sort of go back into the books, look certain things up, just so that I can understand a little bit more about what's going on. I also have a collection of stones and crystals just for the fun of it. I mean, some of these I bought years ago. I just like stones. I like colors. I like lots of different colors. So I've just sort of gathered them throughout the years. Um, let's see. There's a couple of stones here I did want to mention. So there is a black tourmaline, a clear quartz, an amethyst, smoky quartz, and black obsidian. These guys I got from, let's see, which one is the smoky quartz? I think it's that one. It's not this one. These are amethyst. Like, still learning, as you can tell. But I did want to mention that I got these from Etsy at Crystal Life Australia. So this is the information for Crystal Life Australia. I thought they were really cool. It's called the F Right Off Crystal Kit to help protect your energy. Um, I'll hold this here, but I'll hold off the F part. So it does list those crystals and what they're used for. And she has a great little shop on Etsy, so in case you want to buy any. And then I also got these cards off of Etsy. Blooming Vision Tarot. I'm still getting used to how to use the light, so I'm trying to get the glare off, but it's sort of a work in progress for that. So Blooming Vision Tarot, really nice cards. Let me get you the name of the person on Etsy because I feel like if I'm using them, it's nice to sort of mention who created them. This is Sirius Tarot Co. So Sirius like the star, Sirius Tarot Co. And I'll put that in my description of the video as well. This other deck I just got off of Amazon. It's called the 88 Miracles. It's hard to see the box with the light, but it's 88 gemstones tarot deck. It came with this guidebook, 88 gemstones. I just think they look really nice. I'm an odd person, so I like things like gold, copper, bronze, and dark things. He's very kind of like a gold foil deck, but also like really colorful things. So this deck is very colorful and fun and creative. So I like both. I also have two other decks that I really like. One I'm going to keep for personal readings for me, just myself. It's a cool deck. It's called Vintage Tarot by Alyssa Wilson. I got this one from I think bookshop.org. I'm not going to use this one on the videos because it does have some nudity in it, and YouTube doesn't like that. But they're really cool cards based off of that um, sort of that tattoo feel, right? So, for example, this is like the death card, really nice imagery and pictures. Um, Page of Swords is really cool. But yeah, so I'll use these personally. I'm not going to use them on my channel, mainly because I don't want to draw my cards to cover the nudity. And then the other deck I got for fun, which I haven't used yet, um, because I want to decide how I want to use it, because it's not a traditional tarot deck. It's an oracle, and it's called the Trash Animals Oracle. So inspiration and guidance from chaotic creatures. I got this one from a nice little shop that sold a lot of tarot cards. It was a lot of fun. As you can see here, you have different meanings. The tipped over trash can, that's good luck and opportunities. The plate of pasta and meatballs, that has to do with relationships and this alignment. So these I haven't used yet, and I feel like this is going to take me more practice time, but it's a really neat deck. So I wanted to show you. All right, so what else did I want to go through? I am currently using this Palo Santo and White Sage. Just kind of spray that before I start. And I do have some Florida water that I put on my hands before I start. Still learning a lot, um, especially where I want to store my decks, things like that. I'm not 100% sure. So hopefully I'll give you updates along the way. These are kind of here to for show. I'm sure they serve a purpose that I don't know quite yet. I got this copper. Arthur Ease Your Mind talks a lot about copper. So, and I love copper, bronze, rose gold. Like those are my favorites. All right, so I am gonna do one spread. I'm gonna use the Blooming Vision because I did a spread like this already with my 88 Gems deck. And like I said, I'm not 100% sure about all the meanings of the cards yet, especially the minor arcana. So So I'm going to still have to look up what some of that means. This is the Blooming Vision Tarot. So this first spread I'm going to do is called the Tarot Deck Interview Spread. So it's like you are asking your spread what it's like. You're giving it an interview. So there are six positions, and each one of them is going to sort of tell me a little bit about itself. So let's try that out. I'm not going to deal with reversals yet. I feel like as a beginner, it's not something I really want to do yet. I'm still learning. And even though I like the idea of reversals, like I don't know, there's something about reversals that intrigue me. I don't know what it is, but I'm not gonna try it. I'm not gonna do this yet. I still need more time for practicing. Shout out to my grandmother for teaching me how to shuffle cards. We played a lot of card games at my grandma's house. Especially like to play rummy. I wasn't big on poker as a kid, but we played a lot of rummy. Um, but yeah, so it was fun playing card games with my grandma. I remember once I tried to read her cards by the reflection in her glasses, but she caught on and didn't work. All right, so these were all like directly in order. So I'm gonna keep shuffling them to hopefully give them a good shuffle. 'Cause they were most definitely in complete order as I was learning about the deck. Um, I'm a little bit worried about how these cards will show up because of the light. They do reflect a lot. My other cards, not so much. So let's give this a go to see how it looks. So I'm going to do a spread of six cards. I'm not going to do reversals. So I have, that's the Nine of Wands, Six of Swords, Judgment, Six of Cups, the Fool, and the Seven of Cups. So as you can see, there's this glare. So if anybody has any advice on that, please let me know. It would be great to work on my setup a little bit better. So this first card, Nine of Wands, it's a nice card. So I see a woman, right? It's got a nice dress. These cards all have this nice little theme of color to it. Um, and since it is the blooming tarot, there's a lot of like plants on these cards. So they're really nice in general. So the this first position is supposed to be tell me about yourself. What is your most important characteristic? So this deck is telling me what its most important characteristic is the Nine of Wands. So sadly, I have to look up the Nine of Wands because I don't know much about the Nine of Wands. Um, so when we look up the Nine of Wands, right, we are defending our legitimate territory. We're showing some courage under fire. We're standing our ground. It's also a card of recovery. So it's a strong card. We have success at hand, and it also can mean completion. So when you get it in a reading, it could mean things like your job is done. It also talks about having discipline and ability. So you're able to plan things well and wisely. If it's a relationship, you're developing positively and moving forward with a sense of direction and purchase or purpose. If there is still opposition, you're going to have your skills, the strength and courage will prevail over your other opponents. So what I get from this is what stood out to me is the idea of moving forward with a sense of purpose and direction, right? Um, it's talking about discipline and ability and also developing positively. So I feel like what this deck is telling me is that it's really going to help me pursue my goal in learning tarot. Um, with my first deck, with the 88 crystals deck, um, I shuffled and shuffled and shuffled, and the first thing I asked it was, should I learn how to do tarot? And I pulled the Sun card, and that to me said a lot. Like it said, I am 100% should do this. It's going in the right direction. It is something that I don't know if it's about ability or if it's because it's connects me maybe to my family. There could have been more people in my family that did tarot. My mom had a tarot deck. So who knows? You know. So I think this Nine of Wands really connects to that sun and telling me that this is something that an ability that this deck is going to help me to develop. So this is a deck that I think is very helpful and it will really guide me along my path and whatever questions that I ask of it. So number two, the second card here says, what are the strengths? What are your strengths as a deck? Right? So this is the Six of Swords. We have a woman in a boat with six swords. It's kind of interesting because the first thing I think of is, are those swords creating a hole in the boat? Is the boat going to sink? Or is she successfully navigating this water, even though these swords could damage the boat? So that's the first thing I think of when I see this. So let me look up Six of Swords. These are really nice cards. I think they're quite beautiful. So I feel like even if I got bad news with these cards, I would still feel happy because they're so nice looking. So the Six of Swords, so we are putting past troubles behind us. Um, this also marks the beginning of a new phase. After a time of upheaval, I'm rebalancing myself, right? Enjoying a new peace of mind. This is the calm after the storm. And it says a period of smooth sailing, right? So we have this boat. She looks like she's having a good time. She doesn't look worried, right? So there's no storms. There's no clouds. We see all the stars in the sky. She's having a good, a good trip there. We can also think of this as a time of integration or reintegration. So we're thinking of harmony and ease. There's new people that can come into your life that you can trust. You may have had some intense suffering, but you feel optimistic and balanced. This card can also indicate a move or a journey over water, maybe an unknown destination, but luck is always on your side. So I think for me, for the question that I've asked, the strengths of this deck are again sort of giving me that ability, right? So this Nine of Wands is going to help me strengthen my ability with tarot. And the Six of Swords is going to kind of help me balance out, find a new peace of mind. And I think that's what reading cards will do for me. Because even watching people read cards does that for me. It feels very calming. Um, Even if the cards don't say exactly what you want them to, it still is refreshing. So in a way, the strength of this deck is a rebalancing and a peace of mind. It's going to give you that calm, or at least give me that calm that I need to learn tarot and to just feel ready for the future. That's how I interpret that. Number three, what are the limits as a deck? So this card, the card of judgment. This one is going to be about the limits of the deck. So this is interesting. I have to, even though I spent some time with the judgment card, I feel like I need to look this up a little bit more to understand what that means in this sense. I'm thinking of, let's see, it's not the justice card. I get those two confused sometimes. I've noticed as I'm learning judgment and justice, the same as death and the devil. Like I'll get them confused. So I have to do a little bit more, let's see, reading into this card. Let's see. So we have a winged figure, and on a lot of decks, the judgment card is a winged figure, a lot like the angel Gabriel, right? There's usually like a trumpet involved. This one, it looks like they have a trumpet. It's hard to say, but they have some sort of instrument with them. Um, this is the most purely Christian card, suggesting the feared day of judgment when God will judge all souls and apportion out rewards or punishments accordingly. But that's not, the total idea. There also is the Egyptian goddess Mot. I think that's how you pronounce it. For instance, that weighs the souls against her feather of truth. So this card does suggest an awakening. So, what are the limits as a deck? It almost feels like this could be interpreted a few ways, I think. The limits, if I'm thinking about judgment and limits, is it saying that this is kind of like a beginner's deck for me? Is it going to really help me in the beginning and then I'm going to have to move on from it in the future? That could be one interpretation. I'd like to know what other people think about that. Maybe it won't, let's see, because it is about maturing, right? So, will I need to will I need to move on to other decks as I mature? That's true. I mean, if this card were reversed, it's talking about having little or no control over certain factors at work. Like if you're thinking about making some changes. So that's interesting. Like, I wonder if this deck, maybe it says it's not really good at making judgments. So I shouldn't ask it questions about whether something is right or wrong. It could possibly be saying that, like, it's not the deck for that. Maybe try another one. Um, so that's really interesting. I'd like to get other people's opinion on that. So, number four, what are you here to teach me? So this is the Six of Cups, which actually sounds pretty nice. We have our six cups here. We have a symbol here up top. I'm not sure what that is, but these are beautiful looking cups. They all have some nice designs on them. But again, I have to look it up because I'm not good with the minor arcana. So let's see. Six of Cups. Six of Cups is good for nostalgia and happy memories, which is really nice. So, in a way, that feels like it's going to teach me a lot about the past. So, this is almost sounds to me more like a personal deck than the other deck I was going to use as a personal deck, but I don't know. We'll see. Um, so, comforting memories can be used to better your future and to build on. So, I feel like it's going to pull from the past to help you to understand the future. Yeah. So I feel like this card, it's telling me that this deck is going to teach me how to look at my past. It's going to tell me how to look at my past so that I can better handle the future and better understand my emotions for the future. And that could be for all of us, I would say. So, say I was doing a reading on, I don't know, something political. I think this deck will help us with that. It can help us to pull from that past to learn and to apply to the future. Now, the Fool card, number 5. How can I best learn and collaborate with you? So, how can I best learn and collaborate with this deck? The Fool card. That's very interesting. It's a beautiful card as well. Um, she has a nice little sort of bouquet in her hand. She has that happy little dog. So it kind of reminds me, when you're a fool. I remember the first few cards of the mind, or major arcana, remind me from childhood, all the way up to the chariot reminds me of a time of coming into young adulthood and you're moving on and trying new things. So the Fool card to me is like a little baby. They don't know what's going on, but they're enjoying life, which is kind of nice. Um, she doesn't even have her eyes open. She's ready to just prance around and have some fun. And the same as the dog. Dogs are very happy-go-lucky. So I feel like there's a reason why that dog is there. So what does this mean? How can I learn? How can I best learn and collaborate with this deck? So what I think this says is that I should be relaxed. I should be open-minded. So the fool, even though it's called the fool, it doesn't mean that somebody is like stupid, right? It doesn't mean that um it may be a little naivety, but you're kind of going out without any judgments or any thoughts in your head of this shouldn't be done this way, that shouldn't be done that way. You're just kind of going out and experiencing. So I feel like this deck is telling me that the best way for me to use this deck is to have an open mind, right? To think about all the cards I get, see how they work together. Maybe I'll have a few interpretations, and that's okay. Um, yeah, I think that's what it's telling me. It feels really nice. Okay, so last card. What is the potential outcome of our working relationship? And that is the Seven of Cups. That sounds very nice to me. Another beautiful card with the cups here. So, what's our working relationship going to be like? Yeah. So, we went from Six of Cups to Seven of Cups. So, this is great creative potential, along with the energy to make use of it. So, this is a lot of fun. Um, this card represents fantasy and imagination. Which cup am I going to choose? What is in each of these cups? I have a choice. Um, some, I think, tarot decks may have like little riches or whatever in these cups. This one doesn't really have anything in the cups, but there could be something in the cups. So we're looking at a lot of different possibilities. It's not an easy choice to make, but there are a lot of different intentions that we can explore in our imagination. Um, and then we can even just decide which to manifest. So that's a challenge, deciding what to manifest. So the potential outcome of our working relationship, I think this is a really good card, especially for learning. It's kind of reminding me, right? The Fool is reminding me to have that open mind. And as long as I have that, we're going to have a lot of creative potential. We're going to get a lot of energy out of this deck. And we're going to have a lot of different options. It may be a little bit hard to narrow those down. That's okay. I'm still learning. So, but yeah, I think this is a really good spread for this deck. Um, I'm going to put this spread in the info for the video as well in case you want to do it for your deck. I did a similar spread for the other deck I have, the 88 crystals. So so I figured I would use this deck, and I'm very happy that I did because I feel like I learned a lot and that I'm going to be very productive. Hopefully, we will be very productive. Hopefully, I'll keep up this channel. Um, and we'll learn a lot of new things, everything from proper lighting to reading tarot and how to make good decisions. Thank you.